Hey everyone. So the title of this video is probably what you think it is. I need to tell you a story, and trust me, it's a lot crazier than you could ever imagine. I'm still trying to make sense of it all myself. This is the story of how I discovered my husband had a secret family across town, and how I found out that everyone, and I mean everyone, knew about it except for me. My life for the last 10 years was what I thought was perfect. I married my high school sweetheart, Mark. We'd been together since we were 16. We went to the same college, got the same entry-level jobs at the same company, and basically built our lives side by side. He was my rock, my best friend, my other half. We had a beautiful home, 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and all the comfort and routine you could ever want. Our friends were all from our high school days, and our families were close. We were the couple that everyone looked up to. We were the example. Relationship goals, they'd say. I believed it. I truly believed it. The first crack in my perfect world was so small, so insignificant that I almost missed it. It was about 6 months ago. Mark started working a lot of late nights. He'd come home exhausted, sometimes after I was already asleep. At first, I was supportive. He'd just gotten a big promotion, and with it came more responsibility. He was a new manager. It made sense. He was stressed, but he was always loving and attentive when he was home. He'd leave me little notes, bring me flowers, and make sure to have a date night at least once a week, even if it was just ordering takeout and watching a movie on the couch after the kids were in bed. Then things got a little stranger. He bought a second phone. He said it was for work, a secure line for client calls, and again, I bought it. Why wouldn't I? I trusted him implicitly. He'd always been so transparent. He'd never given me a single reason to doubt him. This new phone, though, he kept it tucked away. He never left it on the kitchen counter like his personal one. It was always in his pocket or on his nightstand, face down. One night, I saw a text come in, and I just happened to glance at the screen. The name was S. Reed. I didn't know anyone with that name. I asked him about it casually the next morning. He just said it was a new client. He was so calm and normal about it that I immediately felt silly for even asking. But a tiny seed of doubt had been planted. I started paying more attention. He would sometimes leave his work phone on silent, and I would see notifications pop up. They were never just from S. Reed. There were others. A few times I saw a name, Leah, and another, Max. One day, a photo notification popped up, and for a split second, I saw a picture of a little girl with pigtails, standing next to a boy who looked to be about 8 or 9. My stomach dropped. They were beautiful kids. They weren't my kids. I felt a wave of nausea so strong I had to sit down. But the image was gone in a flash, and I convinced myself it was just a random picture of a client's family. Right? I told myself I was being paranoid. I was just stressed. The paranoia, however, wouldn't go away. I started noticing other things. Mark was wearing a different cologne. He said he'd found it on a business trip. When he came home from these late nights, he'd go straight to the shower. He'd often smell faintly of a different kind of shampoo, a softer, more floral scent. I remember one morning I was folding laundry and a small, brightly colored crayon fell out of his pants pocket. My kids were way past the crayon stage. They used markers, and they certainly didn't have crayons like that. I asked him about it, and he just laughed it off, saying it must have fallen on him at the office. Kids' birthday party supplies? You know, he said. But I didn't know. I didn't believe him anymore. The final straw came a few weeks later. Mark said he had to go to a 2-day conference out of town. He left early on a Friday morning, kissing me and the kids goodbye. I got a text from him a couple of hours later saying he'd arrived and was checking into the hotel. Everything seemed normal, but something in my gut was screaming at me. A part of me, the part that had been ignoring all the little signs, just couldn't take it anymore. So, I decided to do something completely out of character. I went to the address of the client I'd found in Mark's work calendar. It was a street across town, a completely different neighborhood from ours. I drove there, my hands shaking so hard I could barely hold the steering wheel. I parked a few houses down and waited, my heart pounding in my chest. The first few hours were nothing. I almost gave up. I was about to start the car and leave, feeling foolish and crazy, when I saw a car pull into the driveway of the house. It was Mark's car. My stomach twisted into a knot. I watched as he got out, not wearing his usual work suit but a comfortable pair of jeans and a t-shirt. A woman opened the door, and she was stunning. She had long, dark hair and a warm smile. She kissed him on the cheek, and then she called out, "Daddy's home." Two kids, the very same ones from the picture on his phone, ran out and wrapped their arms around him. My breath hitched. It was like watching a movie, a horror movie, and I was the ghost no one could see. He was laughing with them, picking them up, swinging them around. It was a picture of a happy family, his other family. I sat there frozen in my car for what felt like an eternity. I was crying so hard that my vision was blurred. My perfect life wasn't just a lie, it was a performance. I had to confront him. I couldn't just go home and pretend I hadn't seen this. My fingers trembled as I typed a message to him. "Where? Are you really, Mark?" A few moments later, his reply came back. "Just finished dinner with a few clients, heading back to the hotel now. Miss you." The audacity of it all. The pure, unadulterated lie. I drove home in a haze, tears streaming down my face. He got home the next day. He walked in, smiling, and asked how my weekend was. He hugged me, kissed me. I felt sick to my stomach. I couldn't do it in front of the kids, so I waited until they were in bed. I sat him down on the couch, the same couch we'd spent so many happy nights on, and I looked him in the eyes. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. My voice was eerily calm. "Who is S. Reed?" I asked him. He went pale. He knew. He knew the game was over. I told him everything. How I'd seen the photo, how I found the crayon, and how I drove to that house yesterday and saw him with a woman and two kids. He didn't deny it. He just sat there, silent, his face a mask of shame and defeat. He explained everything. Her name was Sarah. The kids were Liam and Mia. He'd met her at a different office, a satellite branch across town that our company owned. He started an affair with her, and she got pregnant. He couldn't leave me, he said. He loved me, but he couldn't leave them either. It was a mess, and he'd been living this double life for years. He'd even told his boss, who was an old family friend, to help him cover for the long hours. His parents, my parents, our friends, everyone. He said they all found out, one by one. But they were all told a lie that I would never know and that it was being handled. They were told to protect me from the pain, to protect my perfect life. That's when the real heartbreak hit me. The betrayal wasn't just from him. It was from everyone I trusted. My best friend, Sarah, who I'd told everything to for the last 15 years. My own mother, who I talked to on the phone every single day. My dad. My sister. All of our mutual friends. They all knew. They had all been lying to my face for years. They'd looked me in the eyes, listened to me talk about my perfect husband, and just nodded along. They had let me believe in a fantasy, while they knew the harsh, ugly truth. They had all conspired to protect me, but what they really did was protect him. They were protecting his secret, his lie, and my complete and utter naivety. I can't even describe the feeling. It was like I was a character in my own life, and everyone else had been given the script except for me. I felt like a fool, a naive, trusting fool. I walked into a room of friends, and they all knew my life was a lie. My parents were keeping secrets from me about their son-in-law, a man they'd known and loved for over a decade. The very people who I relied on for support and comfort had been deceiving me. I have no idea what to do next. My world is completely shattered. My husband is not the man I thought he was. My friends are not the friends I thought they were. My family, my own family. I don't even know what to say to them. How do you look someone in the eyes and ask them why they let you be a living joke? Why they let you walk around with this lie on your back? I'm sharing this because I feel so incredibly alone. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who I can trust. If any of you have been through something like this, if you've ever had your entire reality flipped on its head, please share your stories in the comments. I need to know I'm not the only one. I need to know that there's a way through this, and that I can somehow find my way back to being a person who can trust people again.